What is good? What is good? What is Gucci? Courtney IG, and I'm back again. And this time, guys, I'm here to talk about and to review the 20-track album, the last one from Headie One. So let me set the scene before diving in, guys, as I like to do. We've had 3 projects leading up to this one from Headie, whether collaboratively or independently. So the first and most recent one is with K-Trap, Strength to Strength, which I feel like was a solid project from a drill standpoint. I feel like both of them had a good chemistry. I feel like for me personally, I liked that a lot more than I did Joints. I think it was called Weird Blade Brown, which you can actually watch a review of on this YouTube channel. I feel like it was a big improvement. And before that, we got Too Loyal for My Own Good. I feel like that was a bit of an Edna leftover. I'm pretty sure it came out in the same year, 2021, or maybe the year after. With the exception of a few tunes, you know, 2 Chainz, Beggars Can't Be Choosers, Long Nights and Knightsbridge, good P&D flip, really like that. But Edna, now, for me, is still one of the best projects, actually the best project to come out of the drill space. Even though Headie I don't class as a pure drill artist, I feel like the project really is the best. It's the blueprint, very much like Pop Smoke. What Pop Smoke has done, I feel like there isn't really many projects that can talk to Edna, like there isn't really many projects that can talk to Pop Smoke's project. Rest in peace. So, do you know what surprised me here? The length of time it took for this to come out. Because Martin Sofa came out, I reckon, around 2 years ago, if we fast forward to today. And I've been rinsing that. And it's like, why the delay? Why so long? Like, drill is in a different space right now. So I'm really curious to what Headie has to say in this one, what his approach is going to be. So let's dive into that. But just before that, if you want to get into any of my thoughts and reviews on any of those projects I've just mentioned, whether it's the, you know, Strength to Strength, Too Loyal for My Own Good, or Edna, I'll put all of that in the description in the comments. So let's get into it. So the album kicks off with I Could Rap, a reflective opener with progressive keys and choir vocals, you know, the typical format. Right away, Headie comes in with a mindset. He wants to set us into his mindset. They don't want me to blow, because if I do, I'll do it the gang way. Very clear, very precise, exactly where he's coming from. It's a nod to the haters to let them know you guys can't hold me back in the past. Reinforcing his repetition here, he keeps giving us his prison ID, A6436CK, you know? It's a theme of self-reflection which continues into Love My Life, a somber drill cut, similar to Form 696 in terms of subject matter. Headie's looking back on his old life, the climb, the rise above it. And it's a theme that's carried well also into Martin Sofa. And Martin Sofa, for me, yes, it has a very clear message from Headie's standpoint, but I feel like more universally, everybody can relate to Martin Sofa. Everybody can relate to Martin Sofa. You know why? Because everybody has a point in their life where they were somewhere where they didn't want to be, or somewhere where they aspire to be beyond, or somewhere where they don't want to go back to. And that, to me, is what Martin Sofa represents. And that, to me, is why Martin Sofa made the impact it did, because the imagery was there, the video was there, the message was there, everything was there from the streets perspective and the non-streets perspective. Everyone can find relatability in it, representing the bottom for them, where they don't want to go back to. Absolute banger, and the best song he's ever made to this date, without question. So, moving on. I still know better. Darker lens, very dark lens, you know. We as fans don't know the reality of a lot of the situations that these drill rappers talk about. You know, you listen to the music, you enjoy the music, you have fun with the music, you recite the music, but you don't know what the iconic Know Better actually represents. And if you do know, you know, and if you don't know, you go research it, because I ain't here to be drill police and tell you all about who did this and who did that and who ended up here and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. That ain't what I'm here to do. But all I can say is Headie very vividly illustrates how things could have went one way or another, and how some things did go one way or another. But if he ended up in prison, he would not have been able to support his family the way that he does today. Real. And it's just real rap. It's just real rap. There's a production switch up on Lonely featuring Potter Paper, which is refreshing. It's giving more of a rap vibe. Headie contrasts the isolation of being in prison with his current VVS lifestyle, very drippy, very flashy. Potter feature adds to the authenticity of the song. Given he has had his own time inside as well, you know, it's very real. And yeah, it's just that desire to avoid recall, and that is the next song after that, Recall, which has a 2-part to it. It is a continuation of the prison theme. I like the second half with Why You Look So Tired way more. I think Jim Legacy takes over the vocal elements there, the vocal adjustments. I still don't know, is he singing that, or is it like he's just found some vocals and flipped it or somehow? Just need to tap into him a bit more, I think. But I feel like the song could have started around 140, where the beat switches up and Jim Legacy comes in, or whoever that is, comes in and flips and gives that like something different, something unique. Because before that, it is a bit repetitive in terms of subject and so on. A standout on this album, Cry No More. Stormzy delivers a sharp, assertive, dominant, flexy verse, like a million drip, but all I rock is gym wear. Lonely at the top, but you don't know that. Like, that is just like screaming, I'm the king of the scene. I'm the boss. You know who I am. And Headie stays consistent with the theme, stays consistent with that resilience, stays consistent with the streets. Nobody want to cry no more. Nobody want to die no more. Like, it's just a match made in heaven in terms of how they constructed that song. It's just a masterstroke. It just works, guys. It just works. And the energy carries into Soul to Keep featuring Friday, which I feel like the chorus actually outshines the verses on this one. I'm sorry to say. I like that Headie's sticking to the same thing, but to me, I wanted something a bit more personable. I wanted something a bit more unique. I wanted something that I hadn't really heard from him either in previous projects or in this project so far, and I didn't get that. But as Headie says, maybe I'm not happy enough, and that's why I don't make happy music on Happy Music. But I really feel like it could have added some depth. It could have added something unique, basically. There's an album shift into the more experimental territory with the likes of Beam and AJ Tracy showing up on Make a W. More party vibe, ain't it different? Not my cup of tea, doesn't land. The following cuts like Rapunzel, Braided, very formulaic, very predictable, very DBE type beat-ish on Braided. Same strings, everything's just same. Tipsy stands out for me. SWV sample, remember this getting rinsed over the summer, like it, vibey, refreshing. Headie, relaxed style, works on this very well, much like it does again on something that shows up a bit later, and then another gem in Guns and Money. Guys, to wrap up, I feel like Headie felt not inspired, uninspired in creating this album. Stuck in a time lapse, actually, in terms of where he was, trying to recreate that drill feeling again, which I feel like we've moved on from in the scene a bit. Like, I don't feel like the likes of the Senches or the Diggers or the 98s or that kind of, you know, that LDs and all of that kind of sounding of drill where it was is not at the forefront anymore. It's changed. It's more Cairo keys. It's different. It's infused with trap now. So when you're trying to keep it drill, it just sounds, it doesn't land to me anyway as a listener, because I've listened to a lot of these projects and it just doesn't rock with me. But I wanted to give this project a chance, but I felt like it was uninspired. I felt like the choruses didn't really match the verses, as I mentioned with Friday, but it did work with Sampha. So it's to each to his own, innit? So maybe somebody else loves it, but to me, it didn't feel like a great Headie project. it got a bit predictable. The first 10 and the second 10 didn't go together. It was too much. I always say less is more. And yeah, it's just uninspired, guys. I was quite disappointed. That's all I can really say. Like, I feel like he just didn't have, he probably created an album, dropped it, started it again, dropped it, and it's just like we ended up with this. Top 3, Guns and Money, I Still Know Better, Cry No More, 6 out of 10. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, inspire.